Hello, people of the internet. I am James Phoenix, and this is another WWE Fantasy Log.
You want some? Come get some.
And we're here to do the usual. Unfortunately, the only one with me this week is John.
Hi.
But he's the best one, so it's kind of
Glorious. No.
glorious. Anyway, so you're a bit quiet.
That better?
That's much better.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully
Anyway.
the microphone stays.
Well, we'll find out. Anyway, we're going to do the usual, some news and some scoring and fun things like that. Will the other two show up? Who knows? That's the fun.
It's like a loot box.
Haha! I like it. Also, just completely unknown, why are there loot boxes in a wrestling game?
Why are they in Shadow of War? I don't know.
Well, it's an action-adventure game. That makes sense. That's where loot boxes were invented. I mean, granted, they used to just call them treasure chests, but still.
Those aren't always random, though.
This is true. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and start with the news, and then we will do the other stuff. And we'll cover what's going on. Oh, excuse me. Apologize, folks. I'm a little bit out of it. I've been at a librarian conference for the last 3 days, so got back this afternoon. Anyway, let's start off with Ric Flair. Woo!
Woo!
Apparently, we now know Ric Flair's grand return for the WWE, at least, and appropriately enough, it will be at Starrcade on November 25th, the Starrcade house show in Greensboro, North Carolina. Charlotte announced that he would be in the house at Starrcade and confirmed that he would be there specifically to watch her cage match with Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Which of them will be the champion at that time? Stay tuned to SmackDown next week. Ricky Dragon Steamboat, one of Flair's most famous rivals, will also appear at the event. So that should be interesting. So stay tuned for Flair at that. Glad to hear that he's better.
Yep.
Oh, I have a horrible segue, and I probably shouldn't. What do you think?
I mean, I'm curious, but if it's really bad, then don't do it. It's fine.
I don't know. Now you know what? It's my show. Speaking of people who didn't get better, Brian Pillman's new book is out. Or a book about Brian Pillman, I should say. It's called Crazy Like a Fox, the definitive chronicle of Brian Pillman 20 years later. You can purchase it now.
New shirt on the Shop Zone. Oh wait, that was Alicia Fox.
Yeah. That's about right. The book is now available on Amazon, by the way. You can go find it. 318-page book offers the most in-depth analysis of Brian's entire personal and professional life, with unheard details of his football and wrestling careers, complemented by exclusive interviews with close friends, colleagues, and reporters, including members of the Pillman family, Dave Meltzer, Kim Wood, Bruce Hart, Raven, Shane Douglas, Jim Cornette, Mark Madden, Mark Coleman, Les Thatcher, Alex Marvez, Mike Johnson, and many more. The official splurb reads as follows: an alpha male with a beta body, looking to thrive in worlds where beta males with alpha bodies are the primary requirement. He was a complex paradox, a walking contradiction. He lived more in 35 years than most do in a lifetime, the product of an arduous infanthood. His overachievement is awe-inspiring. Tales of his conflicts and conquests became the stuff of legend. His borderline genius and tragic demise made him an icon shrouded in mystique. He was Brian Pillman, and 2 decades later, the most comprehensive look at one of professional wrestling's most fascinating stories has been compiled. Discover unheard details of his upbringing, the incredible story behind chasing an NFL roster spot, and his introduction to pro wrestling in the crazy Stampede circuit. Revel at his trials and tribulations in WCW and the WWF, walking the fine line between the cusp of superstardom and political turmoil. Reflect in the most detailed inside breakdown of his loose cannon gambit ever produced, the scam that turned him into the talk of the business before fatally drowning in personal tragedy and addiction. Exclusive interviews with some of Brian's closest friends and family, Crazy Like a Fox is a must-read for Pillman fans and a breathtaking look at the bizarre world of wrestling to boot. Available now on Amazon, and presumably where fine books are sold. What? I don't get why that was a gas moment.
Because we have a tiff.
Wait, what? Holy crap.
Now you get why it's a gas.
You gotta remember, I have the article up. I can't see it yet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You have to remember, I can't read the article and have the video up at the same time. That doesn't work. I have one screen.
Dig it.
Hello, Tiffles.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Yeah, I tried to come in a few times and it wouldn't let me.
Oh, Hangouts suck. Well, we've got everybody worth having here, so let's continue with the news. Just to catch you up, Tiff, we discussed that Ric Flair will be making his grand WWE return at the Starrcade House Show. And also that Brian Pillman's new book is now available. I should say the new book about Brian Pillman. I keep saying that. The new book about Brian Pillman's life is now available on Amazon.
Okay.
All right, rolling along. What do we got next? So, yeah, this is an interesting situation here. None of this surprises anybody at this point, but let's see now. When did this go up? Right. So, right there. So I guess he's not that bad off. Stop jumping. Sorry, computers. I guess he's not that. Okay. Why is this a new thing? Why? Why is a web page really? Why is web pages forcibly jumping you to an ad now a thing? Stay.
I hate autoplay videos.
This is an autoplay. There's an ad at the bottom of the page, so we're gonna forcibly jump you down to it every time you try to scroll up. Again, what the shit? So, judging by what's booked for next week, I guess it's not too bad as of right now. But in a non-televised WWE live event last weekend, F4W Online was reporting that Sin Cara suffered a knee injury in his match against Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn in Spain. Try to say that 5 times fast.
Sami Zayn in Spain. Sami Zayn in Spain. Sami Zayn in Spain. Sami Zayn in Spain. Sami Zayn in Spain.
Okay. So, scroll up. There we go. He was scheduled to work the SmackDown Live house show on Monday, but was not there. I didn't really see the majority of SmackDown, or at least the beginning of SmackDown, so I don't know if he was there or not. But he took to Twitter to apologize to the fans in Lisbon, Portugal, for not being able to perform at that Monday's live show, saying, roughly translated from the Spanish, "Due to an inconvenience in my knee, I could not participate today in the hashtag WWE Lisbon. Apologies to those who attended. I hope to see you again soon." So we'll find out whether he was on SmackDown when we get to that recap portion. But I know that he is booked for next week's SmackDown to face Baron Corbin for the U.S. title, so I guess it's not that bad of an injury.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. What else we got? Let's see. All the things. Let's go to this one next. This one came up during the week and is kind of relevant. This one actually came up last week, but we didn't really cover it because I only found out about it after the recording, so I missed this. But it was announced officially that at Wrestle Kingdom, the NJPW's WrestleMania-style event, it's kind of a big deal. It was announced that their big star, Kenny Omega, is going to take on the one, the only Y2J, Chris Jericho.
That should be a very good match.
It should be. Apparently, Jericho's deal to work with them has been in the works since August, and it may have happened after the failed working agreement with WWE when it came to the Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea.
Well, that didn't take off.
What's that?
That didn't take off.
No. The event is going to continue, but it's going on with ROH and NJPW wrestlers because WWE wouldn't send people.
Oh, okay.
So people are theorizing when WWE wouldn't send people to Jericho's cruise, maybe, and he ended up working out a deal with NJPW, maybe he decided he was going to go be with them for a while.
Okay.
While Jericho is fully funding the cruise himself, he approached WWE about having NXT appear, but was turned down by 3 company executives that he never heard of. That's a quote. Jericho said he told Triple H he was still going to do it and proceeded to contact NJPW and ROH to see if they were interested, and they were. So, who knows?
Why not free publicity, I suppose?
Pretty much. So, as of right now, Jericho is stepping away from the WWE situation. But that will still be an excellent match. What else we got here? This is not really a spoiler because this was announced on the internet post SmackDown, or around the time of SmackDown. Shane McMahon made a blockbuster announcement of the final member of his Survivor Series team, of which he is captaining and participating along with Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Roode. And he announced that the final member of his team would be none other than John Cena. So, Cena will be on Team SmackDown, which does leave people to some questions regarding his free agent status, but that's supposedly going to be addressed on next week's SmackDown. But that was announced by Shane on Twitter, as well as posted on WWE.com and other sources. Anywho. So that is kind of a big deal. We'll see how that plays out. What else we got? Well, speaking of SmackDown, people at home may have heard there was a little bit of controversy regarding Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn this past week. They were, in fact, sent home from the show. Or rather, sent home from the European tour that they were scheduled to leave on right after the show. Well, they were technically, they were in England for SmackDown, so technically they were already on the tour, but they were sent home from the remaining tour dates, let's put it that way. After the SmackDown in Manchester, for conduct deemed detrimental to the WWE. Multiple sources, both internally and externally, confirmed to Sports Illustrated that Owens and Zayn's offense was, and I quote, going into business for themselves, end quote, regarding their on-camera work during SmackDown. So, many more details have been coming out in the intervening time frame since that happened. A report from Pro Wrestling Sheet indicated that Zayn and Owens were sent home from the tour after going against explicit creative directions at the end of the Zayn-Kingston match. According to the report, the finish went as planned, and Owens ran in immediately after the pinfall and started beating down on Kingston. However, both he and Zayn were supposed to stick around and allow the other members of the New Day to rush in, fend off Owens and Zayn, and generate a babyface pop to end the segment. Instead, Owens bailed out of the ring, and Zayn soon followed, and it all ended awkwardly with both the New Day and the Sound Crew confused. It seems because the duo went off script, WWE officials decided to send a clear message by sending them home days earlier than planned. The report also suggests that they have become slightly difficult to work with lately and might be unhappy. It should be noted that both were close friends with the recently fired Jimmy Jacobs, as well as Neville, who walked out but hasn't officially been given a release. More details on the situation. Let's see. So according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, the post-match segment is definitely the issue at hand that got them sent home, but he adds that many people backstage are saying that the duo didn't purposefully avoid getting beat up, and rather it was most likely a big miscommunication. Either way, the two were told to pack their bags, go to their hotels, and then ultimately fly back home, which they did. The original plan was they were going to team up next week to take on the New Day, but those plans are up in the air now as nobody knows when they're going to be back on TV. What else? For what it's worth, the opening interview with Kevin Owens, Zayn, and Shane had nothing to do with the duo being sent home. They didn't go off script in any way, and the only part of the interview that was actually edited was when Shane McMahon got flustered. Apparently what happened, let's see, yeah. So I guess the situation was that Shane told the fans Bryan would be back next week. The fans started booing, which panicked him as he didn't know why until he realized, oh, they're booing that he's not here now, and he managed to catch himself. With Owens and Zayn, they made mention to Men of Honor, and there were some people who suggested WWE was upset as it could be taken to reference Ring of Honor, but that was not the case. So I just said SmackDown was taped. There was plenty of time to edit out anything people didn't like, so... And we had one more update on the situation. They are expected back with WWE next week in time for Survivor Series Go Home SmackDown. There was some concern that Vince would take a hard stance with the two for something that in the grand scheme of things wasn't a big deal, with some comparing it to the 2016 situation where Titus put his hands on him. So there we go. So that's all the Owen Zayn news. What else have we got? Let's do this one. I'm just going to go right down the list here. Make it easy tonight. So this, good thing or a bad thing, you decide. But it looks like WWE is going to be scaling back the number of pay-per-views. It doesn't seem to be cost-effective with the network model having all these pay-per-views, specifically that adding more has not translated to an increase in subscribers. They've been doing one Raw and one SmackDown per month, except for months with one of the big four, but next month and in February, there's only one pay-per-view scheduled. The next Raw pay-per-view is actually not till February 25th, currently scheduled to be the Elimination Chamber from Las Vegas, Nevada. So it looks like they may be dropping it down back to one pay-per-view a month and just alternating which brand has that pay-per-view, except for the big four. If we were going to go with that route, given that there are big four, that would equally leave 4 Raw and 4 SmackDown pay-per-views per year, of course. So, I don't know. What do you think, John? Less pay-per-views a good thing?
Yeah, the 2 a month feels a bit much. And you get the weird situation where like if they alternate, it's not as bad. But when it's like, oh, there's a big like a dual brand one, and then 2 weeks later there's one of the other ones, it's like they build up to one and then there's like no build up to the other. So I think like no more than 1 a month is fine. That seems good to me. I know some people will be like, no, every week, and it's like, calm down.
Mm-hmm. Every week? Oh, God.
I don't know. There's probably somebody.
All right. Tiff, what do you think? I know you don't always watch pay-per-views, but hello,
Hello. I'm here.
there you are.
There I am. The pay-per-views. Well,
You think less is more?
they say it is, so probably.
Yeah. Because while people are watching, it's probably the same people. They're not getting more subscribers, which means because it's not pay-per-view buys anymore, they're not making more money on it. So I can understand why that's not cost-effective. All right. So we have one more story tonight. And while I don't doubt that there'll probably be at least one more follow-up on this, this may be a bit of a historic moment here with our last story tonight because, like I said, while there may be a follow-up for confirmation on this, we don't know. We may have, in fact, reached the end of one of our 2 longest-running segments here on the Fantasy Log. And that segment is Mexico versus England.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because Paige has been in Orlando, Florida at the Performance Center as of late as she prepares for her long-awaited comeback, which is speculated to be on SmackDown anytime. Paige has been absent from the scene in WWE since dealing with injuries, filming a movie on her life and career, and serving suspensions for the wellness policy. On Thursday, a Paige fan account on Twitter posted a video of her mentioning that she is single, which has led many to believe that she is no longer with former WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, a.k.a. Impact Wrestling's Alberto El Patron, who recently returned to Impact at their Bound for Glory pay-per-view. As the fan page noted, wait, did @RealPageWW say she's hashtag single? Capital letters. Who knows? But we may have reached the end of that long-range segment. We will follow up in the coming weeks when we confirm whether or not they are still an item.
Also, didn't somebody said that Alberto Del Rio, like later that day, was supposed to have a AMA on Reddit and abruptly canceled. So people were joking, like, "Well, yeah, he doesn't want to answer that question."
I didn't know that. Okay.
I don't know if it's true. I just somebody said that, so throwing that out there. If it's true, it's funny.
It is. All right, let's go to the scores.
Woohoo.
Excuse me. So as you can see from the scores here, still in the lead are the Champions of Justice at 4,600 even. Followed in second place at 4047 by TNA Worldwide. In third is the Glorious End at 3472, and still trailing in last at 3063 is the Broken Highlight Club. Getting steadily more broken by the minute. And not in the way that would earn me massive amounts of points. So we will go ahead.
Did you want to send me that or no?
I will do so.
Okay, just thought I'd ask.
Yep. You want me to do it now or at the end?
At the end of what?
The end of the show.
It's up to you, I guess.
Because at the end, at least it'll be at that point up to date, and then you can, pre-score for next week if you want to.
Are you not going to be here next week?
No, I'm just saying. I know you sometimes score as I, and then compare with me to see how close we are.
Yeah, okay. Do it at the end. Whoops.
All right. Damn it. Okay, damn it. I have the hiccups. Tim, would you like to go ahead and just read down the top 10 list there while I go get a drink of water?
Okay. At the very top, we have a 526 is Enzo Amore, with in second place at 433 is The Miz. 424 would be the first half of the first third of the Shield, Dean Ambrose at 424. 402 following after that is the second third of the Shield, Seth Rollins at 402. Alexa Bliss is at 398. AJ Styles following after that at 387. And following closely after that is Cedric Alexander at 382. We have Braun Strowman at 370. Then Kalisto at 349. And to round out the top 10 at 310 is Jason Jordan.
Excellent. Thank you. So, I will note for this week's scoring, we're going to be a little light on move points because I've noted whenever the shows are pre-taped from England or other overseas locations, Raja tends not to do their own from scratch recaps like they normally do. They just borrow ones from another site. So as a result, I don't have as detailed blow-by-blow match results as I normally do. So I know generally what finishers were used in terms of the major moves of the match, but there might be some lesser move points than normal. We're just going to have to live with it.
Okay.
So, since nobody here is liable to whine and bitch me about that, I can continue. All right, so let's go ahead and throw these in order here. How about A to Z? And let me go ahead and bring up Monday Night's Raw's results. Major point shifts this week, all the things. And of course, Raw, both Raw and SmackDown actually, but we'll start with Raw. It came to us from Manchester, England. It was pre-taped due to the time zone difference, of course. And we did open Raw with a graphic acknowledging a horrible, senseless tragedy in Texas that resulted in 26 people being shot by a lone gunman. Horrible things. And then a video package recapped the Miz Braun Strowman situation. And the Miz Taraj were in the ring for a Miz TV segment. Curtis Axel wearing a neck brace after his run-in with Braun Strowman the week before. And Miz started with a promo on his Survivor Series opponent, the U.S. champ Baron Corbin, then introduced Kurt Angle as his guest. And Angle told Miz that despite their differences, Miz has his full support at Survivor Series. And Miz said he wished he could say the same to Angle, who then took a jab at him over the TLC main event result. Footage played of Stephanie removing Angle's balls in her latest emasculation segment. I like the terminology in this recap. This is good. Angle said he's not going anywhere. He said Raw's going to celebrate its 25th anniversary. They have the best talent, best show, yada, yada, yada. Angle said SmackDown has had a good run for 18 years, but Shane has an inferiority complex, and SmackDown will always be the B show. Miz threw up footage of the SmackDown sieging Raw from a few weeks ago. And then Miz accused Angle of doing nothing to retaliate, except showing the footage of Kane attacking Daniel Bryan in a dark room. Angle saying he had nothing to do with it and issued an apology, but Miz accused him of trying to destroy the Miztourage via Strowman. He says Bryan doesn't deserve an apology. Axel does. He gave Angle the line about shutting his mouth, and Angle stood up and Miz changed his tone. He questioned why Strowman was on Team Raw if Angle had nothing to do with the attack on Bryan, and Angle said Strowman is a hell of a negotiator and he had to promise him one big thing, a match against Miz for later in the show. Miz tried to plead it off, but was not successful. We'll open up with a promo from The Miz. 48, and we will give 3 accompaniment points each to Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. All right. After this, Elias came out to the ring. And Elias sat on his stool but without his guitar, asked what the crowd wanted him to sing. Some fans suggested Wonderwall by Oasis. He said too bad because he had an original that was better than anything Noel Gallagher ever wrote. Noel Gallagher ever wrote, sorry. He then sang a song insulting Manchester until he was interrupted by Jason Jordan. And they had themselves the match that was announced last week, the Guitar on a Pole match. Michael Cole noted this was the first Guitar on a Pole match in over nearly 2 decades in WWE. There might be a reason for that. So basically, they went back and forth. They ducked each other. Elias grabbed the guitar and tried to use it, but Jordan ducked him, took the guitar, and hit him with it. It's about what happened. If I'm reading the recap correctly, apparently the way to win the match was to hit your opponent with the guitar. Apparently that was the match qualification. So, in either case, let's see here. Elias lost the match. He'll get 5 points, and he did hit 1 kick. I'm assuming it was a boot, so that would be 6 points to Elias. It's 285. And then we have Jason Jordan. Actually, Elias should get 3 more for being in a specialty match, actually. Let's see, Jason Jordan's going to get a butt ton of points here. Jason Jordan gets 20 for winning, 10 for winning a specialty match is 30. 5 for competing is 35. 3 for competing in a specialty match is 38. And 3 for the use of the guitar is 41 points because he didn't have any actual moves. So 41 points to Jason Jordan.
Yay.
Indeed. So at 351. How about that? All right, next up. We cut backstage to where the Bar accused Angle of playing favorites with the Shield. And he said if they want to represent Raw at Survivor Series, don't manipulate him, man up and say it. And Angle decides to give these 2 gentlemen one more opportunity at the Raw Tag Team titles tonight. So promo to Sheamus and Cesaro. All right. And then we got Asuka came out, and she defeated the same jobber she beat last week, Stacey Coates. And I felt bad because, as Corey Graves pointed out, Stacey got her grandmother front row seats for the show. And Corey mentioned he wasn't sure if that was friendly or cruel. But Asuka dominated, won with the Asuka lock, so in 1:15. So Asuka will get 20 for that, 5 for competing, 1 for the lock, is 26 points to Asuka. Woohoo. He is 100, 103, and 20 is 123. Bam. Backstage, Alicia Fox was wearing a captain hat. And she proceeded to announce that Asuka would be on her SmackDown Women's Raw team for Survivor Series, so that's cool. And I guess that's a promo to Alicia Fox then, so fair enough. All right, next, Charlie Caruso interviewed Titus Worldwide and put up footage of Joe destroying them last week, asked what prompted Titus to request a match with Joe. And he said they'd love to have fun at Titus Worldwide, but last week wasn't fun at all, and Joe is in trouble. So that's a promo to Titus and Apollo. It's 112 for Apollo and Titus. We get 5. That'll put him at 84. So Titus and Apollo start to make their entrance, but Joe jumps them from behind, takes out Cruz, and then chokes Titus out with a coquina clutch. Several referees come down and eventually force him to break the hold, and Joe got in the ring and said that he will put down anyone who stands in his way, and proceeds to call out anyone who's looking for a fight. He gets a response from Finn Balor. For the record, that would be Joe with an assault and a coquina clutch. So that'd be 5 points to Joe before the match. And then following a commercial, Samoa Joe had a one-on-one match against Finn Balor, in which the two gentlemen put on a show-stealing caliber match. And then proceeded to be so distracted beating each other up that they both got counted out. Then some referees tried to pull them apart, and then they beat each other up some more. And then Kurt Angle came out and said, I like this intensity, you're both on my Survivor Series team. Sure, why not? What's that?
Yeah, that'll work out.
Yeah, well. We shall see. I'm going to take a wild guess that it'll work out about as well as John Cena and Randy Orton coexisting on a team.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Then again, I guess it's about as well as Randy Orton coexisting with anyone on a team.
That's true.
Oh, God, he's been begging for a heel turn for months, hasn't he? Oh, boy. Okay. Anywho, so that's a double count out, so nobody is going to win that match. I believe we have a policy for that. Let's see. Yeah, that would constitute a draw, which is 5 points. So each gentleman will get 10 points for the actual match. And then, let's see, Finn Balor has 10 plus 6 moves, is 16 points to Balor. 77 and 6 is 283. Okay. Sorry about that, it's itchy. Ow. And then Samoa Joe had 4 points, plus the 10 is going to put him at 14. Samoa Joe. 5 and 4 is 89. All right. So as mentioned, they were added to the team. Security had to pull them apart. Backstage, Bo Dallas gives Miz a speech while Curtis Axel stands nearby. Dallas saying that Halloween is over and monsters aren't real, but what is real is their bond, which will overcome anything. Strowman is just flesh and bones. They can do this. And he asks for Curtis Axel to agree, but Curtis Axel says Strowman really is a monster among men and suggests that they leave. Miz, who was pacing, shoots him a look, and Axel said that if Miz isn't afraid, then they can do this. Promo to Dallas and Axel. Alrighty. And the Miz was there, so I guess he gets promo also. I guess Miz shot him. I guess Miz will get mini for that one. We're going to give Miz a mini on that. Okay. Next up, the Houston Astros got a replica belt from Triple H for the World Series win. Angle called Daniel Bryan and left him a message saying he had no idea Kane was going to do that and asked Bryan to call him back when he was feeling better. Jason Jordan then entered the room, and Angle said he needs people he can trust and named Jordan as the final member of Team Raw's Survivor Series team. So that's Jason Jordan. The promo. And we're going to throw Kurt Angle some promo points also because it's promo related to his match. So, to 103. All right. Next up. Interviewer Mike Rome, whom I've never heard of, interviewed Sasha and Bayley about whether they could be the last two members of Team Raw. He noted they'd be facing Alicia and Nia in a tag match and questioned whether Fox had approached them, which they said not yet. But Bayley noted she led Team Raw to victory last year and that she was a sole survivor, and said there is more motivation than ever to win after SmackDown invaded Raw. And she said the only hugs she will give are hugs of consolation after Team SmackDown loses. And they said they're going to have to remind Alicia that no one shines brighter than they do, since she was just blinded by her new toys, Asuka and Jax. So promo to Sasha and Bayley. Banks. All right. Then we have a tag team match player. Sasha and Bayley versus Nia and Alicia. Which although it was weird because for some reason Jax came out first, then the Faces, then Fox. Kind of weird. Anyway, the Faces take the victory after Sasha manages to tap Alicia Fox out with the bank statement. Following the match, Alicia Fox grabbed a microphone and said she needs and wants Sasha Banks on her team, but does not say anything about Bayley. Could Paige be showing up to join the Raw women's team?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun. We'll find out. But in the meantime, Nia and Alicia lost the match. So they're going to get 5 points each. I'll throw Alicia a mini for the little post-match microphone work. So 8 points to Alicia. And then Nia Jax is going to get 5 points for showing up. What's that, John?
I didn't see.
Oh. Felt like you said something. I apologize. And then Bayley is on the winning team. She gets 15 points for that. 5 for competing is 20 points to Bayley. Woo. And Sasha won the match. That's 20 for that, 5 for competing is 25, and 2 moves is 27 points to Sasha. Puts her at 287. All right. Next up, we have more recapping of the feud between Miz and Strowman, and then we have the Miz taking on Braun Strowman in a non-title match. Braun Strowman chased them around, beat them up. Kane showed up, got in a fight with Braun, and Miz got disqualified for that. So that was a DQ. Kane entered the ring and looked at Strowman, who said that Kane can't kill him. Kane threw a punch, which ended the match. And then the two traded punches. Kane tried to choke slam Strowman, but Strowman reversed it, hit him with a power slam. Kane sat up. Strowman clotheslined him over the rope. The Miztourage tried to jump Braun, but he beat them up and threw them out of the ring. And then power slam Miz. So. Anyway. Let's see, that's going to be interference for Kane. So Kane gets 6 interference points. And then Braun is going to get 5 for being in the match. He won by an unintentional DQ, so he doesn't get any points for that. So Braun gets the 5 that he has. Plus Braun gets 3 moves is 8. And technically a post-match assault is 12 points to Braun. Since he did beat everybody up after the match. Alright. I suppose the Miztourage should get out of match assault points, so we'll give him those. That means 4 points. Hang on. No, okay, I did it right. Good. Okay. So after that happens, Renee interviews Seth and Dean backstage about them having their unexpected title defense. Talked about they're going to defend the titles and then go take a, and then they talk about how Team Blue after Survivor Series is going to be Team Black and Blue.
Just 1 second.
Okay.
Before you continue, did you
Yes.
give any points to The Miz? Or did I miss that? Because I know you were talking about the match. Because you went to Kane, and then you went to the Miztourage, and then you went to Braun Strowman, and I missed the part where if you did any for...
I think you're right. Okay, 5 points to the Miz for being in the match. There we go. Thank you. So Seth and Dean talked about how Team Blue was going to be Team Black and Blue, and Dean added yellow and purple, and Rollins asked him what the hell kind of bruises he's talking about. And Ambrose explained that those were also bruise colors. And they make the point that the Bar are 2 of the least cool people on the planet. I don't like him. Dean doesn't like him. Renee, do you like him? Well, I do. No, you don't like him either. Exactly. So. And the 2 of them, they said, no, this is and will always be the real Bar. And they put their hands out in the Shield fist bump. And as they walk and as they walked off camera, Renee put her arm out too, which was awesome. So,
And from what I heard, I believe Roman Reigns will be back next Raw.
he will be. That is also what I heard. Which will be good because they have just that's the final Raw. They have to hype up the purported Shield versus New Day match. They've apparently decided to go with. We see footage of Enzo getting himself disqualified against Kalisto a few weeks ago. Enzo come out, does a promo. And basically talks some crap about the audience, says he's tired of having TMZ and paparazzi following him around everywhere. And it makes a young fan who approached him at the hotel saying that he looked out, he thought it was Kalisto at first, but it was just a kid. And the kid asked him what was next for the realist champ, saying he wanted a lie, but never told a lie, and that he's facing Kalisto at Survivor Series. And the kid looked as disappointed and said, "Didn't you already beat Kalisto at Survivor Series?" He said, "No, I beat him for the title, and I defended it successfully." And he just went on and on, and Corey Graves called for someone to cut Enzo's mic. And Enzo said that he's worth his weight in gold, while Kalisto isn't worth his weight in Doritos. Kalisto made his entrance and rolled inside the ring, but then went to ringside and took a chair and sat down, slightly confusing Enzo until a different music hit. The broadcast team were shocked. The crowd popped huge as Kurt Angle walked out and introduced Enzo's opponent for the night, explaining that the Cruiserweight tonight was going to face the Bruiserweight, the UK champion, Pete Dunne, who will not be getting points because he's not on the roster.
I feel like he was like they weren't supposed to play his music first. They were supposed to play Angle's, and they screwed up.
That seems possible.
Because it just felt weird that Pete Dunne's music hit, and there's the pop, and then Angle comes out, and you're like,
Yeah, that's. I mean, the commentator seemed flustered by that as well.
Yeah.
Oops.
Technical foul.
Technical foul up. So today, Pete Dunne beats the shit out of Enzo.
Is there a possibility that we're adding Dunne or no?
Given that this is probably the one or only time he's showing up this season, no. Nice treat, but not on the regular roster, I'm afraid. Anyway, so that's here. So Enzo gets a promo, and then 5 for a match in which I don't think he actually hit any moves. So Enzo is just going to get 10 points.
Kalisto didn't point anything out. He probably would have won by his cheating ways by having his feet up on the rope. But Kalisto pointed it out to the ref, so he didn't win.
That's true. And Kalisto is going to get the equivalent of commentary points for being at ringside. So 5 points to Kalisto. D4. And Pete Dunne will not be getting points tonight. So sorry, Pete Dunne. Shit happens. Package hyping matches for Survivor Series. Charlie Caruso interviewed the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, who pointed out Natalya was never champion when she was on SmackDown, and that she was a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, and that there's only one goddess. So promo to Alexa. It was significantly better than I just described it. So we're at 403.
Because she went and said that she was a 2-time champion on SmackDown, a 2-time champion on Raw, and then she asked, "What's 2 plus 2?" And you would think that was 4, but she came up with, "No, that's 1, and it's just one goddess."
That's right. Thank you. Anywho. So following this, we have ourselves the main event. Okay, baby, we will have to add Pete Dunne. Well, no, we'll have to see. I think it's a one-off. Because it was noted that the UK Championship Division were invited to take part in 205 Live, but I think it was just for this week because they were in England. So. Right, because I remember reading about the result of that. So we'll have to see. Let's see here. Sheamus Cesaro came out wearing Liverpool soccer jerseys to piss off the Manchester people. And, yep, Seth and Dean came to the crowd and Cole hyped that Roman would be there next week. And Seth and Dean faced the Bar for the Raw Tag titles. And it was a good back-and-forth match. However, things went a little haywire when the New Day's music hits, and they come through the crowd and begin cutting a promo. Woods, calling Raw the B Show, said they were there to spice things up a little. Angle and Beauty and the Man Beast are seen in the back walking backstage. Angle gave Braun Strowman some instructions. Then a bunch of Raw dudes came from another locker room and followed Angle. The New Day mocked Raw for not doing anything after they attacked, and Big E said they should prepare themselves for Under Siege Part 2, and asked what Raw would do, and then answered nothing. Angle and the Raw guys entered the arena and surrounded the ring while New Day remained on the stairs in the crowd laughing. Some of the Raw guys hopped the rail to go after them, but while everybody else was paying attention to the New Day, Sheamus realized, hey, I'm in a title match, and Bro kicked the living shit out of Seth Rollins. And successfully won the Bar the tag team titles. So let's see here. That's going to be, I guess that's both promo and interference to the New Day simultaneously. So the New Day are each going to get 11 points. And Kofi. And Xavier. Okay. And then match-wise.
Who thinks that the Shield is probably going to ask for their rematch before the pay-per-view?
Oh, they've only got Raw to do it on if they do. So we shall see.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me because I get those points.
That's true. It's true. But you took a big hit on SmackDown too, so.
Me?
Yeah, you. We'll get there. In the meanwhile, let's see. Rollins and Ambrose lost, so they're going to get 5 points each, plus 4 for being in the main event. So it's 9 plus 1 for Ambrose is 10 points to Dean Ambrose. Wait a minute. What did I just do? That's not right. That's a 3. There we go. And then Rollins is going to have 9, 10, 11 points. Yeah. then what else we got? The new champs. We got Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus got a pinfall off of this. So we will do Cesaro first. So Cesaro was going to get 15 points for being on the winning team. He's going to get 30 points for winning the tag titles, because they each get it. So that's 45. 5 for competing in the match is 50. 4 for being in the main event is 54. And 6 moves is 60 points. No, wait. Sorry, that's 59. It's 5 points. 59 points to Cesaro.
That was the 30 points there.
What do you mean?
Never mind, it's 10. Never mind, it's 10 plus 20.
Yep. Now I just lost my number.
59.
Thank you. 59 points to Cesaro. That's going to be 325. Well,
Did you give him points for being in the main event?
yes, that was the 4 that I added.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Better to check. And then we've got Sheamus, who won the match. Sheamus is going to get 20 points for winning this match. Oh, wait. Cesaro doesn't get the extra 10 because he didn't get the pinfall. Got that messed up. So Cesaro should be at 315. There we go. So Sheamus should get 20 points for winning the match, 10 for winning a specialty.
There's a specialty. This is the main event. There's a title match.
Not specialty. Hang on. I'm confused. Wait, no.
It's
Fuck.
it's only confusing you because all the wrestlers came out and surrounded the ring.
No, it's not. I don't give a crap about that. I'm just focusing on the match itself, but I forgot. No, Cesaro had the right points. It's 325. Throwing myself off. All right, let's try this again. All right, so Sheamus is going to get 30 points for winning the tag titles. 20 points for winning the match is 50. He's going to get 5 for competing in the match is 55. 4 for it being the main event. Actually, another 5 for winning the main event, actually, is 60. 4 for being in the main event is 64. And 6 move points is 70 points to Sheamus. Which will put Sheamus at 345. Okay. So, there endeth Monday Night Raw. Let us check the scores. Data. Bam. All right, still in the lead of 48-39 are the Champions of Justice, followed at 40-92 by TNA Worldwide. Followed at 36-03 for the Glorious End and 31-27 for the Broken Highlight Club. 4-11-6. All right. Let's move on to SmackDown. There. Now let me just see what we got here. Stop jumping around. All right, so SmackDown also comes to us from Manchester, England. What's so funny?
Nothing. I heard music. I thought that came from your end.
Yeah, it did. That was an ad. I didn't know you heard that. Okay. Stupid ads. Anyway.
We're about to jam out to it, me and John.
Huh. Anyway. So, of course, we see a video package opening up with a package hyping up tonight's title match of Jinder defending the WWE title against AJ Styles. Also, the plug of Becky Lynch versus James Ellsworth. Calling it a battle of the sexes. Shane comes out to start the show with a big reaction. He says Raw will never be able to call SmackDown the B show, and this time it's personal. He held Stephanie and Kurt responsible for what happened to Daniel Bryan, claimed that they sent Kane after him. Shane said he could get revenge on Raw himself because he'll be in the ring at Survivor Series. The crowd chanted yes for Bryan, and Shane said that he'd be back next week. Shane then called out the guys who did something phenomenal last night, and the crowd chanted New Day rocks before he actually introduced them. The New Day came out. Kofi laughed about Raw doing nothing and admitted they had no intentions of costing Dean and Seth the titles, but those were the consequences of Raw being under siege. Shane loved what they did and led a New Day rocks chant and danced with them. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens interrupted, however, and said Shane's dance was the stupidest thing he's ever seen. And Sami mocked Shane's dancing, so the New Day mocked Sami's dancing. Owens and Shane said that Shane had daddy issues, and Zayn said they could have taken out Raw by themselves, and called he and Owens men of honor, and claimed they were being set up to fail, and complained about needing to even have qualifying matches to represent SmackDown. But Shane noted they both failed. They noticed if they would get favoritism if they danced with him like New Day puppets, and Kofi mocked Zayn for looking like a paperboy and someone who has never been in the gym. Zayn said he'd be happy when Raw beat SmackDown, so Shane put him in a match against Kofi. That's promos for all the New Day members, plus Owens and Zayn. Kofi. And while we're in the vicinity, Kevin Owens. And Sami Zayn. And then we're going to have the actual match, which was Kofi with the other New Day members versus Sami with Kevin Owens. And Kofi came out the victory on that. So Sami Zayn will get 5 points for competing and 1 for a Blue Thunder Bomb he pulled off. Is 6 points to Sami Zayn. And Kofi is going to get 20 points for winning, and 5 for competing is 25, and 1 for Trouble in Paradise is 26 points to Kofi. Which puts him at exactly 200 points. All right. Well, what else? Stop jumping around. God damn it. So Jinder Mahal was interviewed by Renee in the back. And he said that AJ was just an advertiser at Survivor Series. He would feast on the beast. So that's a promo to Jinder. 85.
Was there a match beforehand? Or are we just starting SmackDown?
No, I said Kofi faced Sami.
Yeah, did you give them the points though?
Yes.
Okay. I must have missed that part.
You must have. Were you gone?
I
I don't know, just asking.
must have checked out.
You must have. Let this be a lesson, kids. If you're going to check things out, only do it at the library. Ba, 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 ba. The more you know. Anywho. So we followed all this craziness up with I don't know what, because the page won't stop jumping. Okay then. Stupid ad, sorry. Anyway, after this, like I said, we had Jinder's promo. After that, there was a promo for the Bludgeon Brothers. This world is a horrible place. We're here to make it worse. No cage can contain us. No asylum can understand us. And when we're done, humanity will swell over. Harper, Rowan, Bludgeon Brothers.
That stuff at the speed of light. Oh.
Yeah, right. So promo to Harper and Rowan. Okay. Next, we had a match between Randy Orton and Rusev. The stipulation being that if Rusev could beat Randy Orton, he would earn himself a slot on Team SmackDown. Spoilers, he didn't.
Like someone I saw was making fun of like, why would Rusev want to help out SmackDown?
I don't know. But Aiden English did come out and provide us with a song pre-match. The Lion of Bulgaria, who beat the Viper before, and tonight he shall defeat Randy Orton once more. He'll join Team SmackDown, so Raw beware. And at Survivor Series, all will declare it's Rusev Day. I'm probably way off key on that, but you get the idea. Promo to Aiden English. Two. And apparently the crowd chanted Rusev Day, and there were dueling chants of Let's Go Rusev and RKO. Bobby, Shinsuke, and Shane were watching the match in the back together. But yes, Orton won with an RKO, so Rusev went nowhere. So Rusev gets 5 points for showing up. And Orton gets 20 for winning, 5 for competing, 1 for the RKO is 26 to Orton. Go. All right. After this, James Ellsworth was outside the women's locker room and asked Tamina to find Carmella.
Did you give points to Aiden English?
Yes, that was the first thing I did.
How am I not paying attention?
I don't know. How are you not paying attention? God. Anywho, Ellsworth asked Tamina to find Carmella, but instead he got Becky Lynch. Ellsworth said the women's revolution was getting out of hand and she didn't have a chance against him. He said the ring was no place for the softer sex, and he just lets Carmella compete because it makes her happy. He also noted that they were in Manchester, not Womanchester. And Becky replied that those were some rather ballsy statements from someone who didn't have any. So, promo to Ellsworth and Becky.
No, she didn't say anything about Tamina, just for showing up, or no?
Yeah, we'll throw Tamina 3 points. What the hell? She was on the show. Good call. So, we then go out to the ring for the match between Becky and Ellsworth. Ellsworth came out to Carmella's music. The entirety of Team SmackDown are at ringside for this match. The crowd chanted, "Becky's gonna kill you, and where's your chin?" Ellsworth took his shirt off, and he's apparently in worse shape than he was before. Lynch gave him an airplane spin. He fell to the outside. He got surrounded by the women outside, so climbed back in. Turned around and saw Lynch and got shoved down hard. And pushed her outside. Lynch came back with a flying drop kick. Ellsworth followed with a schoolboy and went for the no chin music, but Lynch caught him, hit an atomic drop and an exploder. And then as he tried to leave, he got thrown back in by Charlotte and got tapped out to the disarmor. After the match, Carmella got in the ring and helped Ellsworth to his feet. She stared down Lynch, but then gave Ellsworth a super kick. So, Ellsworth is going to get 5 points for being in the match and nothing else. $80. And Becky. Let's see. Becky is going to get 20 for winning, 5 for competing is 25. And 6 moves.
31.
31, yep. $181. All right. And then Carmella gets 1 point for the super kick.
Are we giving points to any of the girls outside the ring?
Yeah, they were all there. They technically get a compliment. Sort of, kind of. Or commentary. It's the same points either way, so. 5 points each to the ladies at ringside. That's going to include Charlotte. That will include... where's the freaking list? Oh, there we go. Naomi, Tamina, and Lana. Okay. Lana. Naomi. And Tamina, right? Yes, Tamina. Okay. Hey, okay.
There's
Next
Natalia
up.
not there.
What's that?
There's Natalia not there.
Natalia was not. She's not on Team SmackDown.
Oh. She's not on Team SmackDown.
No.
And how is she against Alexa Bliss if she's not on Team SmackDown?
She's on the SmackDown brand, but she's not on the Survivor Series team because she has a match against Bliss instead.
Okay, so she wouldn't be at ringside. Okay.
Yep. She's going to come up in a sec, though.
Okay.
We'll get there. But yeah, so that happened. So backstage, Shane met with Charlotte and Natalia. Natalia offered to take Charlotte's place on Team SmackDown, in addition to taking out Alexa, and Shane recalled that Natalia barely escaped Hell in a Cell with her title, so books a match with Natalia defending the title against Charlotte next week, with the winner going on as women's champion to face Alexa Bliss, and the loser being the captain of Team SmackDown. Well, not the captain, that's Becky, but the fifth member of Team SmackDown, I should say. Natalia was not happy with this. That's Natalia with a promo.
Of course not. Would you if you were a champion and you had to go on and defend?
Yes, well, we'll give Charlotte 3 points for the little backstage segment. By the way, so the only two mentioned by name, I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to give appearance points to Beauty and the Man Beast for the Raw thing because we never gave points to anybody around the ring, and I'm not looking up everybody, but those two are mentioned, so I'll give them points.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Anyway, next up we had a tag team championship match. Gable and Benjamin versus the Usos. After a short, Gable attacked an Uso with an awkward chop block before throwing himself under the ring and hiding, and said Uso was counted out. So, I guess Gable eventually win by. So the Usos, let's see. Unintentional, let's see, count out loss, which we don't have. Alright, so Usos are just going to get 5 points for being there. Alright, okay. And then Shelton and Gable will get 5 for competing, and then they won by a count out. So that's 10 to, I guess Shelton was a legal man at the time, so that means Chad is going to get 5, and Shelton is going to get, what did I just say?
Shelton's getting 5.
Oh, no, hang on. Chad Gable's going to get 5. Shelton's going to get the 15 because it's a 5 plus the 10 for a count out victory. So he gets 15 to Shelton. Okay. They plugged the show. Mentioned Luke Harper will be on a future episode of that show. AJ is interviewed by Renee, so 5 points to AJ. And let's see, AJ Styles then has his main event WWE Championship match against Jinder Mahal, which he successfully wins, becoming the new WWE Champion. And as noted by Tom Phillips, this is the first time ever that the WWE title has changed hands outside of North America. So, let's see, the Singh brothers are going to get accompaniment and interference. So 11 points to each of the Singhs. Okay. And then Jinder is going to get 5 points for competing. 4 for being in the main event is 9. And 1 move is 10 points to Jinder. And what did I just say for Jinder?
5.
Okay. Yeah, because I no moves or anything, so 5, yep.
No Kalas.
He went for a Colossus, but he got reversed. Oh, no, Mahal did it. Wait, no, hang on. I lied. No, Mahal had 1 move. Right. So he had 6 points for Mahal. Oh, he's 91, actually. Yeah, okay. And then AJ Styles Jesus. All right. Let's see here. AJ Styles gets 50 points for winning the WWE Championship. He gets 20 for winning this match. Is 70. He gets 9 for being in and winning the main event. Is 79. He gets 5 for competing. Is 84. And 6 move points is 90 points to AJ Styles. Which is going to be just 482 then. All right. Thus endeth the program. Let's look at the scores. And refresh. Still the lead at 48.94, the Champions of Justice. Followed at 42.80. Yeah, 42.80 by TNA Worldwide. Followed by 36.79 for the Golden End and 31.49 for the Broken Highlight Club. Okay. And that just leaves the 205 Live. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, 205 Live results. Alright, so Enzo comes out, cuts his usual promo to start the show. There's now an official set for the Zoe show, by the way. It consists of a black mat cover and leopard print sheets draped over the ring posts. He makes fun of Manchester, calls it Blandchester. And he pretends he doesn't know Pete Dunne's name. Claims their match was part of a conspiracy by Kurt Angle to screw him, but regardless, he's going to give the new UK champ, UK champ roster a chance to join the Zoe train. Jordan Devlin disavows his trainer Finn Balor and says he's here to make money and get famous. How you doing? While Tucker says that Zoe and Devlin aren't half the man Finn is. So Amore moves on. James Drake agrees to join the train with a choo-choo, but Mark Andrews doesn't even get the chance to answer when the champ runs him down for being small. Tyler Bate says he enjoys a lot of things like a hot beverage on Mustache Mountain, but he couldn't imagine having to listen to Amore's annoying screeching voice. Zoe tells him he could be his butler on the train and tells him to get his shine box. So May introduces him to Bop and Bang. The certified G rolls out of the ring as Kalisto enters for a match. So it's a promo to Enzo is the extent of this. And 41. Okay. All right. So Gentleman Jack comes out and begins running down his hometown, which he says is full of chubby kids and lazy folks on the dole. Blames them for encouraging him to be a singing, dancing clown like Cedric, and adds that he doesn't need them, though, as he's bigger than Britain. Jack Gallagher then lost to Kalisto. So promo to Gallagher. And then let's see, Jack Gallagher will get 5 for match competition. And then Kalisto, and 20 for winning, 5 for competing is 25, and a Salida del Sol is a 26 to Kalisto. Alright. Dasha catches up with Enzo backstage to ask about his altercation with Bale, but Maury says he's had bar tabs bigger than Tyler, and he's closing the former UK champs tonight. So it's promo to Enzo. And the next match was Cedric Alexander and Mark Andrews taking on James Drake and Joseph Connors, and defeating them via pinfall after Andrews hit Connors with a shooting star press. So the only person that matched with points is Cedric, who was on the winning team. He'll get 15 for being on that winning team. He'll get 5 for competing. Is 20 points to Cedric. Alright. Next, after a video package for Tyler Bate, Enzo defeats Tyler Bate via pinfall following the Giordano. And so, since Simon doesn't get points, Enzo Amore will get 20 for winning the main event. Well, 20 for winning, 9 for it being in and winning the main event is 29. And Enzo won with a Giordano is 30 points to Enzo for that. Enzo at 576. And there you go. And that's the end of the 205 Lives. Let's look at the final scores. Let's scroll over. Still in the lead of 48-94 are the Champions of Justice. Followed at 4,300 even by TNA Worldwide, followed by the Glorious End at 37-19, sorry. And in last place, still at 31.85, is me, the Broken Highlight Club. Okay. So there we go. Let's look at those leaderboards. Still in first place, the realest champ in the room, Enzo Amore at 576, followed by the new WWE champ, AJ Styles, up there at 482, followed by the Intercontinental champ, The Miz, at 446, followed by one half of the former Raw Tag Champs and a third of the Shield, Dean Ambrose, at 439, followed by the other half of the former champs and another third of the Shield, Seth Rollins, at 418. The Raw Women's Champ, Alexa Bliss, at 403, just a point ahead of Cedric Alexander at 402. Braun Strowman clocking in at 382, just a couple points ahead of Kalisto at 380. And rounding out the top 10 is Jason Jordan at 356. So, closing comments for the week. Tiff, anything to add? Tiff? 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 I think we've lost Tiff. Sorry, folks. Well, for Tiff and for Jeff, who could not be here, and kind of for John, but he's here. I am James Phoenix, and we'll see you next week for more crazy shenanigans. Next week is the Go Home Before Survivor series. We'll see how that's going to shape up.